What's going on, all you sci-fi movie junkies out there? Phat Samurai Guy is here with Lady Phatblood, and we just got out of the theater of seeing Terminator,
Dark
Fate, whatever the fuck.
The fifth movie in the franchise, but technically it's not because it's a choose your own adventure series now, in that you can go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Oh no, this is the 6th movie because Genisys was a thing. But if you go by Genisys, then 3 and 4 didn't exist. So yeah, there's a lot of movies in this choose your own adventure series now. And now this one retroactively goes, no, this is the 3rd film in this franchise. So now we now have a new series in the Choose Your Own Adventure franchise, following in the footsteps of Halloween.
And Halloween.
And
Halloween sequel. So, we didn't get a chance to do a trailer reaction for the film. We did talk about it on our Verbal Nectar podcast, if you're interested. Our thoughts of the trailer at the time. But the first trailer, I looked at it and I was like, this is kind of generic. And then the second trailer looked a little bit better, but I still wasn't like really excited or stoked about it. Now, we haven't watched any other people's reviews or anything like that. We wanted to go into this fresh and have our own opinion. No expectations at all.
There seemed to be a lot of vitriol going on.
We had no expectations. We were just hoping, fingers crossed, that it was entertaining.
And better than Genisys.
We're going to go into spoilers too. So this is a spoiler video vlog, if you will. So, just warning. So, the question is, was this better than Terminator Genisys? I'm gonna say there was enough in there. Yes, it squeezes by. Yes. We don't have
in that
little, Targaryen fucking Danny from that bullshit Game of Thrones season 8. Fuck you, Game of Thrones season 8. My rant's not gonna end. It's not gonna end. Fuck you.
It'll never be over.
So anyway,
it'll never. Be over.
We didn't have any of her cringy acting as bootleg Sarah Connor.
Here's the question. Here's the question. When you go to take a dump, and it's a diarrhea dump. When you're done with the dump,
professional review.
Do you feel better when it all gets out, or when it all feels like when it gets out, but there's still some left in there? That's the difference between Dark Fate and Terminator Genisys. Dark Fate at least feels like it all got out. So in that aspect, yes, Dark Fate is better than Genisys. Now, I have not gone back and watched Genisys. I'm not done yet. Okay, I have not gone back and watched Genisys.
We have reviewed all the Terminator movies way back in the day, if you're curious.
Apparently, I gave it a 2.9. I don't remember it fondly. No. I would have thought I would have gone way lower with Terminator Genisys. The way I remember it, I do not like that film at all.
But it was Arnold.
I guess
Arnold was really the only saving grace for Genisys.
But I remember severely disliking that film with a passion. So for me to go back and go, oh my god, I gave that a 2.9, I'm a little surprised by that. But apparently that's what I gave it. But if I were to rewatch it again, I might go even lower with that. But in that aspect, based off of what I remember having watched it one time in the theater, yes, this is better.
Yeah, it's better.
It feels like there was more effort. There were moments where I'm like, oh hey, set pieces and action that looks like it's not like just like green screened all the time, and like we're actually having sets and real explosions.
Action set pieces.
Yeah.
So
now here's my problem. I'm gonna jump right into it. 5 minutes into the movie, I almost leaned over to you.
Okay. Right from the beginning.
Very beginning.
Okay.
I almost leaned over to you.
Okay.
Not 5 minutes into the film, we were knee-deep into our first action scene. And by the time this action scene was over, maybe 15 minutes into the movie, I almost leaned over into you and I was like, I almost asked you, are we supposed to give a shit about any of this? Because at this point, we've had 2.5 minutes of introduction to our main character, Danny, and I'm like, okay, here's the good thing and the bad thing about being into a franchise, well into an established franchise like Terminator. the first Terminator, you have to introduce the world and the lore and the characters. By the time you're into the sequels, you know, if you've seen the films, you know the world, you know everything. You don't have to be introduced to everything, and so you have that leeway of being able to just jump into things. But if you're going to introduce new characters, you need to be given a reason to care about them.
Right.
We weren't given any of that at first, and so by the time this girl is in jeopardy and half of her family has been slaughtered, or her entire family
which is like in the first 15 minutes of the movie,
we're supposed to be like given all this emotional weight, and it's like, okay, this looks pretty. This is very well done. It's very well shot. It's very nice to look at. It's very competently shot. And action, very nice. But I was literally sitting there like, okay.
Well, if you go back to Terminator 1 and 2, the movie did take its time a little bit, but it did kind of at least introduce Sarah Connor, the character, to us, and John in the sequel. So to at least we got their personalities, we got their, you know, their what ticked them off. We got to know them a little bit more before shit, you know, hit the fan. I don't know, maybe they felt like, let's just get to the fucking action. I guess. I wasn't annoyed yet. My annoyance will come soon.
Oh, that wasn't the only annoyance.
Yeah, I wasn't annoyed yet. I was more like, okay, let's see where this goes. But at the same time, we were given a pretty decent action sequence inside the work factory there. But the movie starts out with it was very, very well done. Pretty solid de-aging special effects for little young John Connor and young Linda Hamilton.
Sarah looked much better on the initial shot than John did.
Arnold looked weird to me.
It was
kind of wonky.
It wasn't the greatest.
Because I was like, whoa, look, you know, young John didn't look that bad. And Sarah, I was like, whoa.
Sarah looked amazing.
And then when Arnold came around, I was kind of like,
it was like, whoa, salvation.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
It was almost like, oh, whoa, mid-2000s. But it was like, oh, okay.
It was okay.
It went from, wow, Sarah looks amazing. Whoa, John, not so great. Arnold, what happened? But, I mean, you know, it was only a brief moment. It was a very brief moment, so it didn't last too long. And it was
a good scene, though. Basically, what you find out later in the film, it was delivered very sloppily and kind of, what do you call it? The scientific babble? Wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly.
It's Doctor Who phrase. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah. So it was just kind of just thrown out there, like, here you go, guys, and have fun with it. But apparently, it wasn't just a T-1000 that was sent to kill John. Apparently,
before
they sent others.
Skynet, before they were completely destroyed by the events of the second Terminator film, they sent a couple of Terminators out there.
Right.
And
that's why you see
like their last hurrah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger model coming around.
So yes, Sarah.
And he kills John.
Yes, the events of Terminator 2 happened, and she prevented Judgment Day.
Right. They're on vacation, chilling on the beach.
Yeah, but there was another Model 101 out there for no reason. Yeah. Even though they sent a better upgrade in Terminator 2, they sent an older model.
But we have to get Arnold back somehow.
Yeah. So that happened. I mean, you could argue, but that's the thing. And that's the thing. It's like if you want to take the inspiration of Terminator 3, which was Skynet was trying to be smart in that they knew that John had this connection with the 101 series in his history from Terminator 2, and so that's why
that was actually one of the better parts of that movie.
101, the 101 model after him, knowing that he would hesitate, and he did, and he died, and that's why the wife reprogrammed him and sent him back in Terminator 3. But that doesn't exist anymore, and that's not what happens in this movie, and it's just because we want to get your money.
We gotta get Arnold back.
Get your butts in the seats.
And
so
got
Arnold's
our butts in the seats.
Yeah.
So very well done scene in the beginning, and then many years later, we fast forward, new Terminator. Did they explain the technology for Tijuana? Did they explain?
No, they just say that it's this new thing instead of Skynet.
It's just they gave him a new number.
It's just,
like it was just kind of like
it's not Skynet anymore. It's Legion.
It's Legion.
It's basically what would have happened. It's instead
so we stopped it until mankind said, no, we're still going to fuck it up.
We just created another AI.
And we created another AI, called it Legion, and then that turned on humanity.
It's the same thing in another name.
Right.
And it's like, it's the same thing happened all over. It's just a different timeline now, and a different path, and a different, everything's worse now, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's fine. I mean, whatever.
But yeah, I was waiting for the explanation of why it can, separate, like he's kind of half liquid metal, half, he can separate. You have the physical form and the liquid form. Yeah. And I was kind of, at least a quick, brief.
But only one.
This is what the model does. This is what it's made out of. Like something.
Yeah.
It felt very generic. And I know they wanted to make him look intimidating with the black color, and that, we appreciate that. But I don't know, man. Like, I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been pink. But what I'm just saying, though, is like, I get why they went with black. But with a lot of the action sequences in the dark areas, it was kind of hard to see what he was doing. To be honest, I might get a lot of flack for this, but this kind of felt like a soft R. To me, it did.
Yeah.
Especially when he's sticking and stabbing shit. All you're seeing is black.
Yeah.
You're seeing black shit stabbing people, and it's kind of like you literally could have just took out the CGI blood, and he could have just went, and you could have made it PG-13.
The first Deadpool felt like a harder R than this.
Well, yeah, he fucking decapitated a head and soccer kicked the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Where was that shit in here?
I kind of felt like the R rating.
It just felt, it was okay.
I felt like the R rating came from the language. There were more F-bombs in this movie, and that's why it garnered the R rating. The violence,
body count. Give us a bigger body count with some jibs. I want some gore.
Yeah, the violence wasn't really that much in this. It was just kind of like, okay.
I mean, it's not like Terminator 1 and 2 were ridiculously gory either.
No.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to brag about, we're going to be a hard R. If you're going to brag about that shit.
Yeah.
I just, the color palette of just black. Yeah,
and again, there was
like and then there was a fight underwater. You could barely see it.
Again,
it was just
like you said. There were a lot of fight scenes at night. There was the scene in the airplane, which could have been an interesting scene, except it was taking place in a big cargo plane at night.
Right.
A lot of shit was going on.
It was a better action. It was a better action sequence than underwater, though.
It was.
Underwater stuff, I was like.
But I was having a hard time seeing some of it.
Yeah.
Because it was very dark. It was very.
Right.
But I mean.
So we get this new model that can do shit. And there's a lot of, I guess, nostalgia nods for the fans in here. We get, our antagonist, evil Terminator, has to drive a big vehicle. Well, remember that? Our antagonist, evil Terminator, has to fly a helicopter and take out the windshield and shoot the machine gun through the windshield, through the hole. Yeah. Remember that when that happened? We get a fight in the finale in kind of a factory-esque setting with what was the stuff drooling and dripping all over the place.
Well, what in this one or
this one.
Well, this one, I'm not sure what.
Well, what was it in Terminator 2?
It was the Ironworks.
Right, Ironworks. So very similar, very similar type setting. Remember that? So there's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, we were eating the member berries in this one.
They play the song from
Guitars and Cadillacs.
Guitars and Cadillacs. They play that.
I kind of knew we were in for the member berries before the movie even starts. I'm like, oh God, did they really just start this movie with VHS tracking and the Paramount logo? Because. Straight out of the gate, they're showing the footage from when Sarah was locked up in Terminator 2.
In the asylum, yeah.
And she's given her speech about how she has the dreams of Judgment Day happening all the time, and she freaks out.
Were you the only one annoyed? I mean, was I the only one annoyed with that sequence? Because that was one of the most powerful. It was one of the greatest scenes in Terminator 2. Acting sequences in Terminator 2.
And they're cutting it in between the goddamn production stills and companies.
You're all dead! You can't stop anything.
And you know what?
Production.
I'm gonna go on a
like,
miniature. I'm gonna go on a little teeny tiny tirade here.
Okay.
Production companies, listen to me. Especially when there's more than fucking 5 of you. You do not need to interject your fucking logos in between the goddamn movie that you are producing in the very beginning of the film. Okay, you don't need to do it. Just to turn around and then in the beginning credits sequence, show us that you're there all over again. Okay, so you interject in between, you're having Sarah Connor's dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Paramount Pictures presents in association with da-da-da-da-da, incorporated with da-da-da-da-da,
That was annoying.
And then And then the movie actually starts, and then you see their fucking title, you see the fucking production companies all over again in the credit sequences.
Yeah, overkill.
And movies do this all the fucking time now.
Yeah,
We just saw the fucking production companies just to see them all over again in the credit sequences. Okay, stop it.
Yeah, stop it.
But yeah, that
was annoying.
That sucked me right out of the fucking movie.
The main annoyance that I'm gonna rant on is coming.
I'm interested.
It's coming. Here we go.
I'm interested to see.
All right, so female human by the name of Grace, augmented, souped up Winter Soldier style. Okay, she gets sent back to be the protector of Danny, who's the new savior for the future to fight against Legion.
Which is supposed to be a reveal later?
Oh, what do you mean?
That was supposed to be a reveal?
Oh.
You didn't get that?
Well, you mean they were trying to make a big scene out of it?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. Okay.
Oh, that was supposed to be a big, oh my God, what?
Anyway.
Well done, folks. You got what you wanted. Some of y'all got what you wanted.
So pluses. You do get some solid action, probably in the first, solid action set pieces in the first probably 30 minutes. One of my main nitpicks of the film, though, is the special effects are fine. They're fine. But there was some wonkiness, man. What the fuck is this? There is some wonkiness with, when T. Juan would fucking, when he was fighting, he was doing combat, he was okay. CGI was all right, off and on. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was like, eh. But anytime he would leap, jump somewhere, I mean, I kind of giggled. Yeah, I said giggled.
It was reminding me of Neil Breen.
It was like, did you kind of laugh a little bit when he came out of the water and he was like, blur. He came out of the water slow, and all of a sudden he just like super fast ran up the ladder. He's like, blur.
Anytime he was,
I was just like, okay, no, stop that. Yeah, and he's like running and galloping like an animal on all fours. The CGI does not look good.
Yeah.
It does not look good. But that's a nitpick because there's more decent looking CGI than bad. So anyway, T. Juan kills the whole family, Danny's family, and he's about to go in for the kill. And then we have our big reveal. Sarah Connor is back. She shows up being a fucking badass. Now, we're just gonna remind everyone how good of an actress Linda Hamilton is.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Linda Hamilton is the reason to watch this movie.
Yes.
I might have been
She outacted everyone.
I may have been worried about her coming back.
Yeah.
And ruining her, because again, she's one of my favorite actresses from,
yes.
I mean, like, when it comes to the Terminator, I adore her in the Terminator series. And I was worried about her coming back in a shit show.
Yeah.
And as much as I may
and other properties, but we're not going to name them.
As much as I may not enjoy this movie very much, she was fantastic in this movie. Like she ate it up, and I absolutely enjoyed watching her own this role.
Yes.
And she actually cracked me up a couple of times.
Yeah. She had some good dialogue.
So
here and
at
there.
at least she's
the reason to see the movie.
Was not
as
destroyed.
well as somebody else, which we'll get to a little bit later. That's my boy. Gotta represent, man. Gotta represent fucking Carl. Anyway.
I might have a few words.
No. We're gonna get there.
No, that's cool.
We're gonna get there. Okay, here we go.
Cool.
Here we go. So she comes and saves their lives. Sarah Connor saves their lives. Mostly saves Grace's life, really. The first time. Okay? They separate, they steal her truck, blah, blah, blah. She needs her meds, so Grace starts to shut down, whatever the fuck. Sarah Connor shows up, grabs them, and basically grabs the meds and kind of bootlegs it and tries to figure it out. And then saves her life again. She saves Grace's life twice. Okay? All right. After that, we get the scene. She's got the gun on Grace. Grace wakes up. We better start fucking talking. And then, Grace gets up. She's superhuman. and she like punks Sarah Connor, whatever, fine, whatever. Dialogue exchange, past, present, future history exchange, blah, 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 blah. But this was when I was starting to get annoyed. I was just like, man, Linda Hamilton, she still can act, man. She's still great. But what was starting to annoy me is we're introduced to a character that we don't know. We don't know her so far in the movie. We don't know who she is. We just know she was sent back and she's got powers. And every time she fucking punked Sarah Connor, the fucking badass, that if you think about it, she was the real Terminator in Terminator 2. If you think about that shit, if you go deep, she was the fucking Terminator. She had to turn that shit down.
Right.
Okay? Sarah Connor, iconic character, one of the most badass female action characters of all time. And fuck all this bullshit we got now. She is one of her and Ripley from fucking Aliens. That's how you do female action heroes, okay? That's how you do it. I was cringing, all right? I was grabbing my seat a little bit every single time this fucking Grace fucking punking Sarah Connor, man.
You know...
Not giving, and we didn't, who the fuck wrote the dialogue?
Oh my God.
You should have gave her,
okay.
You should have gave her, Sarah Connor, some kind of comeback lines, and be like, fuck you, bitch, I don't give a shit if you're fucking, what the fuck, augmented, and you got fucking strength and shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm suicidal right now. I just lost my fucking son. I'm getting the random text messages from some unknown person that's letting me know where Terminators are dropping. I kill Terminators, bitch. Fuck you. If you're so strong, go fucking kill me. I'm done. I'm done. So I was waiting for that.
So we're on
she even mentioned all I do is kill fucking Terminators and drink myself
till I black out. Yeah.
I was waiting for her to go, I don't give a fuck about you, bitch. Fucking kill me right now. You're doing me a favor. Kill me. Right? They did not give her any comeback one-liner. She just took it. I was like, and this kept happening. This kept happening.
So the Grace character.
Stop punking Sarah Connor. Go ahead.
The Grace character.
That was pissing me off, man.
This was the problem with the Grace character. So you've made the decision.
Character?
Give me a minute.
Go ahead.
You've made the decision to make the new co-lead character a female augmented soldier from the future in the vein of Kyle Reese. That she's our new Kyle Reese.
Okay.
In that she volunteers to get sent back in time to protect the new savior, who is Danny.
Right.
Okay, because in this instance, you later find out that Danny meets a young Grace when she's a child. Grace has lost her family, and after the whole apocalypse has happened and whatnot, and so Danny finds Grace, who has gone through all this shit, recognizes Grace, and is like, oh, I'm gonna raise you and blah blah blah.
I'm gonna take you in.
So Grace,
which was supposed to be the big reveal.
Right. Grace looks to Danny as a mother.
Okay.
There is nothing wrong with any of this.
No.
This was all perfectly fine. If this is the direction you want to go with, this is fine. What is not fine, however, like you were saying, is not only are you taking this character that at this point you're hiding all of this information from the audience, very piss poorly, I might add, because anybody with a set of eyes, because they're trying to hide the fact in these flashbacks that Grace keeps having when she's floating in and out of consciousness, is she's having these flashbacks before she was augmented, and she's on this drop ship, and you can see their commander is injured and bandaged up.
It was an interesting scene.
You can't see the person's face, but you could clearly see it's a goddamn woman. Are we stupid? And you have this further conversation on this top of the train when they're trying to get to Danny's uncle, who can bust them into the States to get them to Texas, which is where their contact is, that turns out to be Carl, the Terminator, later on. They have this conversation where Sarah assumes that Danny is the future mother of the resistance leader. That's what Sarah is assuming. And they have this long obvious, blatant conversation, because anybody who ever had a problem with Terminator and Terminator 2, the problem was, oh, we don't like Sarah Connor's character because it's misogynist, because, well, why couldn't Sarah Connor be the future of the Resistance? Because, motherfucker, it wasn't written that way. This was the story we were given. Sarah Connor is still a good character. It doesn't matter that she's not the future of the Resistance.
Right.
Okay, she's still a good character. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that she's the mother of the future of the Resistance leader. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's still a good character. It's still a good story. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Okay. So, in some of the most awful dialogue that poor Linda Hamilton, had to exposit, she literally had to say, "You're gonna be the mother of the future. You're gonna spit out of your womb the future man who's gonna save the world." It was literally akin to that. She had to say all this crap, to which fucking...
They're coming to kill your womb.
For which Grace didn't say anything to the contrary. So they're still trying to hide all this information. Yeah. And at this point, Grace has been nothing but god-awful to Linda Hamilton.
Oh.
So not only is Grace being a total bitch to Sarah Connor, but...
Yeah.
So you're taking this... You're hiding all this information from the audience, which you're doing it poorly. Because we don't know any of this yet. We don't know about Grace's past yet, okay? So you're hiding all this information, but you're also giving her some of the worst dialogue. Some of the worst dialogue. Horrible one-liners. Like, she's walking in to break into the factory. How's the game?
Yeah.
Did you get any of those awful one-liners she was spouting off?
Stop fucking up innocent people. I get it. You got a mission.
I don't know.
I get it. But she was just walking in and randomly just, like, I get it.
I don't know.
I don't know, whatever.
She had some
It just, she was very unlikable.
She was
very unlikable. Hold on. Hold your thought. Back to my rant. Again, just cringe. Just pissing me off. Like they're on the fucking train and shit, and she's all like, Sarah Connor does that line or whatever, and then she goes, "I just met you and I want to kick your ass already."
Something like that.
Stop bringing back Hollywood. Stop bringing back iconic characters and having them getting punked in movies. And then there was that other scene where they're trying to sneak, from the border or whatever. They're trying to sneak through underneath the wall and stuff. And she goes, I hear the drone.
Oh, God.
Or something. Well, she hear, Grace hears the fucking shit, right?
Yeah, she
goes, "I hear the drone," or whatever, right? And then Sarah Connor goes, "I don't really hear anything."
Yeah.
This is she's just asking
a
question.
It's an innocuous statement.
Right.
I don't hear
And then she goes, "Well, you're not a fucking badass, futuristic, augmented, upgraded super soldier from the future, huh?"
Yeah. It's really atrocious.
Shut the fuck up, Grace.
Yeah. So you again.
Shut up.
You've made this decision to do all
Shut
of
up.
these things, which if you
and then Sarah, you know what? Where's the comeback lines?
I mean,
Sarah could have been like, or been like, something. No, I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah, like a doormat.
I'm just gonna take it.
And so again, you've made these decisions to tweak things.
This movie's better than Genisys.
I know. So you've made these decisions to go these different routes that are similar to, again, you've got the Danny character that's the new Sarah slash John. So you've got a Sarah John hybrid, and now you've got Grace, who's the new Kyle. Fine.
Speaking of bad dialogue, did we have to have Sarah Connor, after the big reveal, did we have to have Sarah Connor say like 5 times, "She's John.
Oh my God.
She's the new John. She's John." Anyway, are we going to talk about the big reveal?
Again.
Are you already mentioned it? Because I wanted to throw in my little thing. The big reveal, she rescued Grace when she was a kid and all that. You already talked about that, right?
That was the reveal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That scene with her coming in and kicking everybody else, because Grace got attacked. These 3 other people wanted her food.
Who also Danny surprisingly didn't age at all in 20 years.
Right. Yes, look the same. Right. So you get the 3 people trying to kill little Grace, right? For her food.
Yeah.
It's in the future, post-apocalyptic, all that shit. Well, Danny, Soldier Danny, John Danny, comes in And I would have preferred if she, she kicks all three of their ass. Well, she kicks the two asses or whatever. I would have preferred just that. Kicks all three of their asses and then takes Danny in. And then maybe walks out and turns around and goes, hey, you guys want to come? That's it. Then she does her little military call and all the military comes out. But she has just to twist it to make sure the audience understands this, twist the spike in the audience because the audience is dumb. They had her kick the two people's asses on the side, and then the third person has a gun on her who could have just shot her, killed Grace, got the food that he was there for anyway. She fucking stops, Danny stops and gives this huge speech. I cringed in the theater.
Yeah.
Don't you know if we work together? We made these machines. We can turn them off. It's simple.
It's that simple.
And then all of them go, okay. He lowers his gun and walks out with her. I was just like...
I also found it interesting
my God.
I also found it interesting that they still called it Judgment Day, and they still called it Judgment Day, and they still called them HKs. Hunter Killers. Even though it's not Skynet, and it's not the original timeline
You're not
anymore.
a fucking futuristic badass soldier from the future, so fuck you.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, this was, you were saying,
we're getting to the man now.
I think you were saying yesterday that it would be interesting if we went into this and we came out of it going, man, if only there were just some things we could tweak.
Yeah.
There were so many things that in this movie that if we could have just plucked them out.
Yeah.
Just take that out, that out. Dialogue, take it out. Dialogue.
There's a possible
dialogue, take it out. Take this out. Take this shit out.
Great movie in there.
Or at least no cringe. Like a rewatchable.
Despite all of this rant, you guys are going to be surprised with my rating by the end.
I might be surprised.
Yeah, but I still have to rant on the shit I didn't like.
Yeah.
Okay? So, we get some semi-decent, solid action sequences here and there. And then we finally find out the guy that was sending Sarah Connor the text messages, letting her know where the other Terminators are so she can kill them. There was the message on, it was on Grace. There was something placed on her.
There was
tattooed.
Coordinates on her,
which was the same coordinates from the text message. So they meet up with Arnold, who's chilling out watching the football game, having some beers. And he opens up the door, and Sarah Connor's like, "What the fuck?" She tries to shoot him, and he killed John. He's a Terminator. Blah blah blah. So they don't get along. Whatever. So you find out. So I was just like, "Why is Arnold here? What's going on?" Well, I saw the trailers, right? So you find out after he killed John, his mission was over. So that's it. Shut down. Not shut down, but the objective is gone. So he has no objective. So over time, he continues to learn, and he continues to what's the word I'm looking for? Evolve in a way, become more human, because that's what he's supposed to do anyway. So he did that, and he met up with this woman and her son, and they became friends, and had a bond, and he kind of became their surrogate dad. Surrogate dad, you know what I mean?
Well, they became a family. In that he became
there was no
protector.
fucking. There was no fucking. He was not fully functional.
He kind of raised the son and protected the family. So
now, is that possible?
Which part?
The everything I just said. Are you okay with that?
Okay.
Is it possible?
Now the problem. Okay. I, honest to God, don't know what to think of this whole thing, because I know that the whole thing with this particular series is that they are coated in human skin.
Yes.
So the aging thing, none of that I have a problem with, because they do bleed, they sweat. That's the whole thing. They're infiltrators. That's what they do. That's fine. Now, I remember there was that deleted scene in Terminator 2 where they remove that inhibitor, and that's how he starts being able to learn and evolve emotionally, quote unquote. But I think they retrofit that scene, and they put a throwaway line in the theatrical cut, and that's how he's able to start processing things on a more humanity level. Like he starts smiling and he starts doing things.
Right.
So he can learn.
Okay.
So
they can evolve.
They can learn and they can evolve. Mm-hmm. And if this wasn't the Terminator franchise, I may not have a problem with this, but honest to God, Carl and drapes. He sells drapes.
Come with me if you want some drapes. Why did they bother showing him grab the sunglasses and then not put them on?
I think
why just have him put on the jacket and walk out?
It was to tease the audience, to be like, we know better.
Okay, anyway.
It was one of those, we know better than to go the full.
You're okay with that part.
It's like...
I at the time, I was okay with it because I'm like, okay, this is kind of a stretch, but let's see where it goes. We had to get Arnold back in here somehow, right? And I'm kind of here to see Arnold and Linda Hamilton, really, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. The evolution of him acting more human was actually kind of amusing. Him giving everybody tequilas or Coronas, I think it was Coronas, and I'm with my wife because she's with me because I can change diapers without complaining. He's all like, and she finds me very, very funny. Very hilarious. I'm a good listener. Yeah. I mean, there were little moments here and there, and then Linda Hamilton playing off of him. They had great chemistry.
She will never fucking call him Carl.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So, I'm like, okay, this is a stretch, but I'm going with it. Okay, movie. Let's see what happens here. This was where I almost gave the movie 0 stars. Was when he goes... This is when I almost gave the movie 0 stars, okay, guys? But this is how I felt at the time when the line was spit out. All right? He goes, now I'm a wonderful Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonator, by the way. Worst accent ever. Now that I have a family and I don't bump uglies, that's how she doesn't know I'm 400 pounds, because we don't do it. So now, I take care of the little kid. We go play ball and baseball hit, and then I change diapers, and then now I have purpose. I have purpose now. Now, Sarah Connor, I gave you the coordinates to the other Terminators so that you can go kill them to give you purpose, Sarah Connor. And right at that moment, I was like, this is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. I almost was like, what? Anything positive up to that point? That is the dumbest fucking shit. I feel guilty because of what I did to John. So I sent you text messages. Putting it in the coordinates and putting for John. Look, I put for John. I almost said, fuck this movie. This is so stupid. So, but Terminator, Carl, don't you think you might accidentally be sending Sarah Connor to her death? There's no guarantee she was gonna succeed in killing the least Terminators. Oh, God. The movie almost lost me right there, man. It almost lost me right there. So anyway, I cringed and shut my eyes for a second, and I'm like, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, let's see where this goes. All right. So, again, more positives. Good charisma between Arnold and Linda Hamilton. Stuff starting to get a little bit more interesting because now we're preparing for the battle. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of on board now, even though that was really dumb, what I just heard. I'm kind of on board now. Kind of. Let's see where it goes.
And then I blinked, and suddenly Grace wasn't a total cunt to Sarah.
Yeah.
By the time they got to the cabin, picked up Arnold and bounced off.
Yeah.
For the rest of the movie, she was fine. to Sarah.
Yeah.
She wasn't a bitch anymore. It
Yeah.
was like,
no more bitch.
what did I miss?
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
You know what I loved was when they were sitting around talking about the plan. And we're going to use Danny as bait, bring him in, and Sarah Connor came up with the idea. Carl supported her, and except for Grace. And then I love that. I actually like that one part of the movie where Danny was like, Grace, shut the fuck up. This is my life. I want to fucking fight. All right, I'm listening to these crazy motherfuckers. Shut up. I was like, oh God, character, personality. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Danny for a quick second. You may disagree, but I'm kind of happy, even though we didn't really get to know her that much. I'm kind of happy that we didn't get like horrible, god awful acting from her. I thought she was a solid performer.
She was fine.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it could have been bad.
No, she was fine.
It could have been really cringy.
She was, I mean, if you're going to compare her and Grace, she was better than Grace.
Yeah, she was.
She was more tolerable than fucking Grace.
Yeah.
Grace, you took what could have been a perfectly fine and sympathetic character that had proper motivations and had perfectly good motivations, and you made her a fucking cunt. You made her an irritating fucking cunt.
Yeah.
And you ruined it. You fucking ruined any chance at sympathy you could have had for her. And you fucking flushed it down the diarrhea-filled bowl.
But the only thing cringy besides the big speech, join me and we'll fight against the machines, that Danny did, which was just like, ugh. But that's not the actress's fault. That's just dialogue. The only thing that was nitpicky cringy was when she finally stabs Tijuan and kills him. Did you laugh when she screamed in his face?
That was unnecessary.
That was really bad. That was a bad, unattractive angle.
That was not necessary.
Like, that was just, it just zoomed in on her face, and she's like, she stabs him, and then she's like, ah! It just was like, ah!
Yeah, that wasn't.
I was just like, oh, damn it, you ruined the attack. Okay, now, wonky plot, wonky CGI, wonky plot. We're going with it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Decent action sequence here. Decent action sequence here. Nothing horrible. Just sometimes it was kind of hard to see things because it's underwater and black blades. Now we get to our finale fight in the warehouse. This is where I was like, okay, movie, you're kind of winning me over now, because they were all like, fuck it, our plan to use the EMP didn't work out, got fucked up during the action sequences. The bullets got, hit the briefcase. So they're just like, you know what, fuck this, we're gonna fight right now. Even Danny, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, some fucking balls. Danny's like, no, we're gonna fight right now. We're gonna do this right now. I didn't even mind Grace at that point. She grabbed the chain, she's wrapping it up. Arnold's there, fixed his fucking knee, knocked the door down. What? He's like, let's do this. Sarah Connor over here, got the shotgun going. I was like, okay, please give me a 3-on-1 fight. Please, movie. Give me a 3-on-1 fight. I want a 3-on-1 fight. Please. And the movie gave me a 3-on-1 fight. And it was the best fight in the movie. It looked the best. It was shot the best. We had some really good back and forth. Some wonky CGI here and there. But overall, as an entertaining action fight, I was pleased. And I was like, okay, thank you, movie. Fuck. Because I was going like this through the whole movie. I was like, all right, I like that. Ah, fuck. All right, I like that. I gave you purpose, Sarah Connor. I gave you some purpose. Right. So anyway, I was just like, oh, thank you. And I hate to say it, God damn it, when Arnold fell over and they both died, he looked up at Sarah and goes, this is for John.
John. I got you.
For John.
Oh no, I got you.
And I was like,
damn.
Fuck!
Damn it! Got him!
I was like,
sucker! That's okay.
Even though I was pissed off ranting about the 4 John text messages,
that's all right.
I didn't mind it at the end.
So it was effective, is what you're saying. So it worked. It worked.
Yeah. Sending Sarah Connor to her death was still stupid. Anyway, there was that. Grace finally not being like you said, not being a fucking bitch anymore. The bitchometer went down. She sacrificed herself so that way they can kill Tijuan. And that's the end of the movie. And they basically, you can assume why Danny's a badass in the future. Sarah and her are together when they drive off, and Sarah's like, "Hey, you need to prepare."
Yeah, so it ends with
maybe she trained her for the future. Obviously,
Danny finds Grace and her
young Grace,
little 9-year-old or so Grace at a park with her family. And she says, "I don't want her to die for me again." And so Sarah's like, "Well, then we better be ready." So they drive off in the old white Jeep, like the first movie, kind of. And you can assume
another positive of the film, a solid positive, the soundtrack.
Yeah,
it was not generic.
No,
I don't remember the fucking soundtrack from Terminator Genisys or Salvation or Terminator 3.
You got Junkie XL doing the score,
aka
Tom Falkenberg.
Something.
His name is. But I call him. He goes also by the name of Junkie XL.
Yeah.
And
pretty good soundtrack. I liked it.
Yeah,
I thought it was good.
Yeah, he's one of my.
Overall, we have a very rushed plot that took its time and slowed down to annoy us with some take it or leave it plot. You're riding in the roller coaster just to see where it happens, see how it ends. Plot. Entertaining finale. So at least the movie, and I'd rather have that. I'd rather have a movie end satisfying than to start amazing and then. So
yeah.
That's why it's overall, it's still not a great movie. Terminator 1 and 2, perfection, 5-star films right there. And those movies still to this day are very influential and still have not been topped within its own genre.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that. They tried.
It's not gonna
they tried with this one, but I still recommend, I know this might be blasphemy to some of you out there, but I still recommend Terminator fans, Arnold fans, action movie fans, sci-fi fans, go out and see this movie. See it for cheap. Don't pay past 5 p.m. price. But if you want some badass sound, then you're gonna have to fork it over. We saw it in DFX, and the sound was pretty good. No,
it was fine.
It was good.
It's fine. It's just.
But anyway,
the price is like, is it worth it?
Well,
that's debatable.
If I'm going to see a badass action movie, I want some decent sound. So, but yeah, I mean, I recommend you guys go out and see it. Now for the rating of the film. Before we give our rating, is there anything else you'd like to say about the movie?
Cunt.
Rating, go. 3 is average on our channel. 3 out of 5. You gave what? You gave Terminator Genisys.
I gave it a 2.9. I
gave it a 3.
I still can't believe I gave it, but again, I can't believe I gave it a 2.9. Yeah. But I've only seen it the one time.
You know what'd be really bad? If we go back and watch Terminator. We're skipping Salvation. Fuck Salvation. You know what's the sad thing about Salvation? There's some good. That's another tweaker.
Yeah.
There's some good moments in Salvation.
Take a socket wrench to that bitch and see what you can drop out and make it better.
You know what'd be bad though? If we now, maybe next week or whenever we get some free time, we now go back and rewatch, because it's been years, Terminator 3, and we like it better than this movie. Terminator Genisys, and we like it better than this movie. I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening because this movie doesn't have Jai Courtney. The black hole.
But the Terminator 3 shot of him holding Sarah Connor's casket and the fucking minigun he had, that was dope.
I know, but it was like 2 seconds. It was like so short. And I know. But why?
Yeah. I highly doubt we'll like it more than this movie, but anything else before we give the rating? You wrap it up? Right.
No, I think I've spoken my piece.
Yeah.
I loved Linda Hamilton. It's like where Arnold was the reason to watch Genisys.
Yeah.
Which I would have to be really. I'd have to be really drunk to rewatch Genisys. I have a feeling. She was really the reason. Like she was really the reason to rewatch this. To ever rewatch this again. And it's not even for pity reasons. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is not a pity watch. She brought everything she could to this role. Like, she did everything she possibly could for this.
So, what did you give Genisys again?
2.9.
2.9. All right. So, what do you give Terminator Dark? What is it?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. We have so many Dawn and Rise of all these movies. I can't mix them up some titles sometimes.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Fate, Rising of the Salvation
of the Genisys. I don't want to give it a 3.
Not even average.
I don't want to give it a 3.
Not even as a okay.
But there were some visuals in there. Like I did like the beginning after that butchered monologue of hers in the asylum, where you actually see the beach and you see the Terminators on the beach and all that. Like, that was beautiful. Yeah. You see this kind of like this little mini army of Terminators like storming the beach. That was gorgeous. Some things in this movie legitimately worked. If you had taken out all levels of cuntiness from Grace, she would have been a good character. Grace the cunt could have been a good character. She could have been a good, legitimately good, not even an average, not even a passable. Yeah. She could have been a good character. Yeah. She could have worked. I'm just saying, she legitimately, fundamentally could have perfectly worked. But
what are you giving the movie?
Yeah, I have to give it a 3.
All right, there you go.
Because again, I think more worked than didn't, but a lot of shit needed to be gutted. Yeah. But so help me God, if I rewatch Genisys and I knock it back to a 2.5, which I very well could, I could easily knock this down to a 2.9.
All right, you ready?
I could.
Here we go. 5-star. I'm kidding. I want to give it 3.5. There you go. See, not that bad. Not that bad. I ranted a lot, but not that bad. This had potential to be that fucking alien covenant. This had potential to be the Predator. Oh
God.
Yeah. This had potential.
Yeah.
But more positive than negative. Still not great though. Not a great movie.
And can I just throw this in there?
But 3.5 for me.
You guys, Hollywood. Hey. You know HD is a thing, right? You might want to cover up your fucking stuntmen. Especially when your stuntmen are supposed to be women. Because Grace was looking a little... I know Grace is kind of androgynous. But I saw him several fucking times.
I must have been too entertained by the action sequence to miss it.
I fucking saw
Usually
him.
I catch it, but...
So it was face-off
That's
levels.
it, 1 star. Change the rating.
It was face-off levels of stuntmen.
Really? Oh, God.
I fucking saw it.
That's pretty bad.
I'm just saying.
I still love Face Off, by the way. All right, that's it. Let us know in the comments below what you guys thought of Terminator Rise of the Dawn of the Justice Fate. Hellboy. Was it great? Why did they even bother wasting their time with it? Did you love it? Did it bring back the nostalgia feels?
Oh, wait, here's my question.
Or was it some bullshit?
My question for you. Yeah. Is it the best sequel since 2?
Well, I thought we said that earlier.
Is it? For you?
By default, yeah.
For you?
Yeah. 3-on-1 fight at the end, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3-on-1 fight at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So let us know in the comments below what you guys thought. We'd like to thank all you badass Terminators for watching. We see you guys next time. And always remember, come with me if you want some drapes.